How to be a top performer, family man, businessman, great leader, and a trailblazer and beyond. This is exactly our next guest is today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday TV talk show once again with hot topic and a very special guest with us. Mr. David, thank you for being with us. How are you?
Thank you for having me here, Nasir. I feel blessed and highly favored just to be on this channel here with you, man. Thank you for having me today.
My pleasure. Who is David Hadley? Where is he from?
Well, again, David Hadley here. I'm out of Medford, Oregon, originally from Santa Rosa, California. I've resided up here for the last about 3.5 years and got 4 kids, girlfriend, a business here in Medford, bulletproofing estates all around America, though.
What do you do?
So I'm an estate planner, but digital estate planner. We have a unique trust actually that works in all 50 states, leveraging Nevada law, where you could sign into a laptop and make changes from your living room and not even have to contact an attorney to make those changes. There's 3 million people that died last year in the United States. 2.6 million probate cases were open, and I'm on a mission to make a huge difference in that this next year in 2026.
So anyone can hop on your website or contact you regardless of which state in the United States of America.
That is correct, Nasser. Anybody could sign into their laptop. I work with integrated trust systems, and we actually have a platform where you can flip open a laptop on there, ask any tax, legal, financial questions, $95 a year for a service on there, and a one time flat fee to set up all their documents on there. You'll never be paying a lawyer another fee again for an update to your trust, changing your healthcare or financial powers of attorneys, or even just distribution language to your kids or grandkids. You can sign in and make a change at any time. Wouldn't you agree, Nasser, that everybody should have a platform where they could flip open their laptop, be having their coffee there at the table with their spouse, and say, you know what? I think the Porsche should
Indeed,
go to my daughter Zara, right? You
for
know,
sure.
and have something that is binding.
I have 17 years of paralegal litigation background before real estate. So I'm all about law, court, and doing things in a legal way. This is
Absolutely.
fantastic. $95 a year.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give legal advice, but what I can do is help people actually start the trust, and Nevada is the only state that's codified the entire law electronically in all 50 states, which is what allows clients to sign into a laptop, use an e-signature, and that be accepted, right? So we still print out all the documents, we notarize them, go down to the bank so they have paperwork as well, but they have a system they can sign into to make those changes at any time. It's really convenient. And, it's unfortunate that, as you probably know from being in law already, that the fact that a lawyer can sell someone a will, still sell them a trust, and then collect on that family's estate going through probate later on down the line, I think that's highway robbery. And
It is a lot of bites to an apple. It is over and over again. And what can we do? A lot of things that I personally do not agree with,
right.
So, but it is what it is. And but we have people like you that is making a big difference. So I believe that you have a great product and great service that you're providing many people can benefit from. Now, if someone wants to do this kind of business with you under your leadership and your support, does this fall under something that somebody can do in a home-based business kind of style under your leadership and teaching?
Absolutely. Every 5 weeks, there's a certification program out in Dallas, Texas. Don Runge, Scott Garcia actually run the program there. Agents fly down there. They get 2 days of exposure of a 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock session on there of training each day. After each day, you watch one of the seminars that are being presented there. And so, how I actually acquire my clients, you can go on my YouTube channel, you go to bulletprooflegacyfinancial.com, click my YouTube channel there, and there's a 48-minute video about me giving presentations down at the library. And it's a shortened up version of a seminar that I give educating people on the exposures they have in their estate. And there's nearly 20 scenarios that I actually point out of how people could potentially go through probate without proper estate planning in there, right? And so I go through and I point out these exposures on there, if you will. This plan now, it's good in all 50 states, but I'm teaching advisors how to make a difference in their local community without having to go be your own marketer. There's a system that we have that you do direct mailers and Facebook ads. It sends people to a library. The hardest thing for me personally, Nasar, I don't have a marketing background. Not formally educated. Didn't go to college or anything after school, anything like that. And have built up a multi-million-dollar business in a very short amount of time because there was a mission that you can unite on, and there's a big problem to actually solve, and there's a problem for clients, and clients are not getting the information they need to keep their families out of the courtrooms. Clearly, 3 million people died last year and 2.6 million probate cases opened. There's clearly a problem in America here, and this isn't being talked about enough. So,
I do see, these ads about making state and will and software, things like that, right?
right.
And so in your service, they're making a trust, state planning, will, things like that, correct?
That's correct. So in people, it's a common misconception. They say, well, what's better, a trust or a will? You need both, right? And because a will, if all you have alone is a will and nothing else, and depending on the state that you live in, but as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not a lawyer here giving legal advice, right? But as far as I'm concerned, the lowest threshold across the United States is $40,000 of assets. And California is the highest one, which is $186,000. Most states like Oregon, where I'm at, it's 75,000 bucks. I believe it's the same in Texas, where you're at as well. And the fact that that home could be passing through probate, and there's a chance for the court system to lock these assets up, attach a fee on it, and release it after they deemed who it's going to, when you could have just paid a one-time flat fee, had all your documents on there, take care of health care, financial power of attorneys, as well as a
Yeah.
distribution plan for your children. It really is the full button up system here. And I gave you a long-winded answer on can other people work with me. They absolutely can. But to work with me, and now I happen to be one of the top advisors in the entire company of integrated trust systems on there since March of this year, March 22nd. There's one person ahead of me. She started January. So I have one. I've competed well for this, but it's not a matter of a competition. It's a matter of mission. How
Right.
important is this? And that for me to work with somebody, because there's a lot of other people out there that could go down there and they could work with anybody. But if somebody asked why me, I would tell them that I'm going to show them how to care on a whole nother level for their clients, and not only train them and show up virtually on appointments for them to show them how to help protect their clients and their assets, but also show them the other side of how to fully exercise their insurance license and retirement products, annuities, their life insurance, and everything that is part of an overall estate plan that is so often overlooked. Teach them how to exercise their license in a capacity that makes their career really take off. And the coolest thing that I've got to experience, Nasser, was people they come into this kind of business for the money, but the people that stay are the ones that are here for the impact. And then as a byproduct, the money just comes.
Correct. What is that plaque behind you?
This is my company logo on here. It's Bulletproof Legacy Financial. That's our poster on here, and it's our financial services. It says, "Let's bulletproof your legacy" on there. And I chose this name very carefully because to bulletproof your legacy, what that means to me is to keep the government's hands, unwanted people's hands out of your whole life, and help people become self-sufficient in a sooner amount of time than they could most other places. And once they've acquired that, you can say you've been bulletproofed.
I like the name. I like the idea concept. I named and published a book called Bulletproof Mindset for Network Marketing. How do you keep these jealous lawyers off of your back that
Mm.
hey, you do not need a lawyer and to do this, what you're doing, and that you are not doing unauthorized practice of law or something like that. Some lawyers are quick to jump on this
Oh,
bandwagon.
yeah. If there was room for them to eat me alive, they totally would. I don't replace the law. I don't give any legal advice. I have none to give. I can't answer legal questions. I can't give tax advice. I'm not a CPA either. I'm a financial professional. I'm a licensed retirement specialist and I hold an active insurance license in 38 different states collectively, and I can sell the trust in all 50. This doesn't replace a lawyer. You still get a lawyer with our system. It's a tax legal financial platform. So inevitably the paralegals and lawyers going to do that legal review. They're going to help e-sign and assign the assets to the trust. Now, what makes this so interesting, Nasir, is we actually provide funding for the trust. An unfunded trust equals probate. So in all other states other than Nevada, as far as I'm concerned, not giving legal advice here, but what
No,
I
it's
think
public
they would tell you
information though.
that Nevada is the only state that you can use and you can electronically assign your assets in real time. So you can leave the bank in your name, leave the car in your name, leave the house in your name, and you can electronically assign the assets in real time without having to retitle all the assets. Now, if you go and use Oregon law, Texas law, Florida law, and you go use a lawyer around there, they can sell you the book. When they tell you a lawyer tells you their price, that's just the price up front. So if they tell you $1,500, $3,000, $5,000, whatever that is, in most cases, that's just the fee to start it and put all your documents into a book form and covers the notarization of those documents. But what avoids probate is funding. So I actually had a lady bring me a quote the other day that a lawyer gave her in Ashland, Oregon, around here. And it said $3,750 was the fee to set up the trust on there. An additional $250 per person's financial power of attorney. And, I think it's changing how estate planning is done across America. And the rate I see integrated trust systems going and the quality of people that it is attracting into the company is like anything else. And if you plan on being in insurance in the next year, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, in my opinion, if you're not taking this approach in there, you may be irrelevant soon. There's a lot of auto places to go get your insurance online automatically without having to deal with the hassle of an insurance agent. You go to a network marketing group this day and age, and insurance agents are everywhere. Annuity agents are everywhere. CFPs, financial advisors, everywhere. How are you standing out from the rest of them? And that's why I chose to take the digital estate planner route of solving this probate, tackling the problem in America with the probate portion, and give back so much value and knowledge and education around estate planning that it changes everything for that family so profoundly. And as a byproduct, they're like excited to have you help them with their annuities, their finances, their insurance, and whatever other facet you may be licensed in. You may be a Medicare agent or a P&C agent, and you may actually want to be able to help that person protect their home after they just made the biggest purchase of their life. And
Correct.
the referrals that have come to me from this, if you go to my website, look at bulletprooflegacyfinancial.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I have some testimonials on there from clients. And you could see these clients walk in with a certain level of anxiety. They got my flyer, they went to my seminar, they heard me shake down all the law practices and attorneys in our area showing this great system next to me. Now they don't know who I am. They don't know anything about estate planning. So they're in a point in their life where they have a lot to figure out. They're trying to figure out if they trust me still, if they could trust this platform. They are trying to learn about estate planning, right? So they really come in with just a certain posture of like anxiety, worry, and afterwards you can see these people breathe.
Fantastic.
Their posture is different, and that impact right there is what I'm chasing at this point. I think that's what's really contributed to my overall success with this program.
What is required for someone to start working with you in your company, in your leadership?
Great question. Well, license wise, it's recommended you have an insurance license, a life and health license, $50 to go on and get a course, go through a 40-hour course, as a brand new person. I like working with people that have been in the industry for a year or two out the gate. They're not learning every bit of the fundamental with me, but to work with me, you'd have to be willing to go to Texas and get certified for this program. It's $300 to go through a 2-day certification program to learn how to broker the estate plan. The rest, I would need people that are humble and they're willing to show up and have some kind of accountability at least a few days out of the week to allow me to pour into them on an agency call, perhaps sit with them on their first 5 or 10 clients to show them. And I have a unique value proposition with agents. You know, now in this space that I'm in, everybody's asking for your contracts, trying to recruit you and hire you. I don't work that way. My time's too valuable to give away to a million people to try and get them to work with me. So for me, I want to know if I want to work with you as well. And a
Correct.
great way for you and I, Nasser, to make a win-win scenario is how about you bring me a couple potential prospects. I'll write the whole deal. I'll split everything I do with you along the way, the financials, what I get with the trust, everything. And if we create a win-win deal and we work together and we liked how that worked and we could see that being a repeatable process that we could do over and over and we enjoy doing it, then let's talk about some contracts. But if we can't make that happen first, so let date me before you marry me, right? That's the approach that I want to take with this, working with people. That way, before anybody makes any kind of commitment, they know and feel that they're in the right place.
What do you do in your free time?
You know, and when I have me time though, because see, free time is a big variable, right? And I want to
Yeah.
give all I can to my kids. That time is so precious. We have 11 and a half year old twins, Zara and Orion. They're awesome kids. They're in sixth grade now, and then David and Hannah. Hannah's six, David's five. So I spend a lot of time with my kids. I'm a Christian by religion, you know. I'm not a Bible thumper saying, "Hey, you better get to church every Sunday" kind of Sunday guy, but I'm a big believer in faith and having something to look forward to and having a moral compass and foundation to live upon. So, you know, those are all
Fantastic.
great qualities that I look for in people of people that are athletic and spiritually driven, regardless of anyone's belief, right? Spiritually driven and athletic people are people that have been part of a team and they're ready to perform and join on a mission.
So, David, you mentioned you're a book reader. What is one book that really stands out and made a big difference in your life?
Oh my gosh, man. I needed so much work on myself, Nasser, that one book couldn't fix it all. I mean, the Bible is a great one to live by. There's morals, stories, lessons in all ways, shapes, or forms. You could hear read the same thing 10 different days and it have different meaning, right? Like I think that book speaks the most magic in it to people's lives, right? But on a personal note, I would make a few recommendations. If someone needed to learn about money and concepts and business, Money Master the Game from Tony Robbins was a game changer for me. I come from a very poor family. I didn't understand anything even about credit cards until I was 22 years old. You know, I didn't have any investment understanding, any types, you know. So when I got into insurance, I was trained to talk mortgage protection, final expense, and this is of the poorer demographic, if you will, right? Buying term and investing the rest, and you know the Dave Ramsey philosophy, and it really is. It's logical for people that are in debt, making bad decisions, bad overhead. You should free up all the crap, right? So I'm all for getting out of debt with those people, but it's real estate debts, you know. Hockey, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was an amazing book right there. That taught a lot of lessons on the real estate and taking the right kind of debt. Emotional intelligence from Daniel, that really helped me understand how someone with 160 IQ could be working for somebody with 100 IQ. That just never made sense to me. But somebody who has the emotional capability to reason with people and communicate, and you know, there may be a doctor with 160 IQ and he can't go home and communicate with his wife and have a good logical heart-to-heart conversation, right? So I think emotional intelligence was a really important one. I'd give a few more on here. If you're in a business, 10x is easier than 2x from Dr. Benjamin Hardy. It showed me that making 10 times more money is easier than making 2 times as much. That lesson blew me away, Nasser. Like, that doesn't make sense to anybody before they read that book. And then you realize that there is 100 different ways I could double my money, take on another hustle, work another night job, work twice as much, make twice as many calls. Sure, million ways to double your money. But how many more ways can you 10 times your money? Not very many, right? So the
Right.
path to 10 timesing is more linear. There's less options to do it. There's more options, so it's because there's less to focus on. And then you can learn how to take your 100% of your activity, focus on the top 20, delegate the next 80. Your 20 becomes your new 100. You start from scratch again, and then you make your new 20, and you delegate out the next 80 and you niche down. And followed by that was the science of scaling from the same man, Dr. Benjamin Hardy. That was such a mind blowing thing. And most people realize they want to grow a business and they have this big goal. I want to build $1 billion business and I want to do it in 7 years or 10 years, some really generic answer, right? And then they tell you, Nasir, how are you going to build this $1 billion business in 10 years? And you say, I'm going to do a TV show. I'm going to do a YouTube channel. I'm going to do Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and TikTok and run 100 interviews and hire people. And now all of a sudden someone puts a gun to your head and says, now you have to build it in 3. What do you have to cut out of this equation? You say, you know what? Going TV show on Unimix is number one. I'm taking over the country. I'm helping real estates all over the place. And you cut out the rest of the fluff, and that was it for me. It was bulletproofing estates across America, focusing on the
Fantastic.
estate plan and finding good quality advisors. So those are some books that have changed my life, my business, and my spirituality.
Oh, last question I ask to all my special guests is
Yeah.
what is one advice you will give to the world?
I'm passing this advice on. Just
Be the change that you want to see.
that's it.
Very, very simple, fantastic. What can we expect? Bonus question. What can we expect from you a little bit different in 2026?
2026, I will have hired over 100 advisors that have learned how to bulletproof estates all across America. We need people in every state. I'll have training platforms, systems in place. I really will. My goal will to be have said that I've impacted over 100,000 families throughout my business, through all my partners that we've hired, right? And we can only do that through finding great quality people. Find me on Facebook. My cell phone number is 707-867-6456. That's a cell phone number you can actually direct text me on. You can find me on Facebook. Look at my website, bulletprooflegacyfinancial.com. All of our information is there. That's how you can find me. And if you want to learn how you could work with me, that's a great place to start. Thank you so much, Nasir. The pleasure's mine.